This episode is brought to you by Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels and music are made for each other. They share a rhythm in the craft of making something timeless, while being a part of legendary nights. From backyard jams to sold-out arenas, there's a song in every toast. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. From improving emergency response times to protecting against cyber attacks, local, state, and federal governments are innovating with Google AI. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
If I was going to learn how to sail, I can imagine how I'd do it. Maybe I'd watch YouTube or buy a book, take some lessons. What I would not do is what Zoo Jernstedt is doing. Zoo has been learning to sail by bobbing around in a 46-foot sailboat in the middle of the Mediterranean. Zoo, where are you right now?
I am off the coast of Crete.
Can you just look around, tell me what you see?
Oh, it's gorgeous. This is the bluest water I've ever seen. I've never been to Crete, so it looks a very magical place. And you can kind of see the dusty blue mountains of it off in the distance. So it's really beautiful.
Zoo is from West Virginia. She's on this sailboat with 11 other people, many learning as they go.
The first night we sailed out from Barcelona, we hit a storm. So all the boats got tossed around, and we found out real quick who got seasick and what boats weren't seaworthy. So it was a very fast learning curve for us.
This learning curve makes more sense when you know about the cargo Zoo's carrying. Aid for people in Gaza. Zoo is part of the global Samud Flotilla, a group of 52 vessels making their way east. For months, boats have been attempting this journey. Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg got arrested making this trip back in June. This time, Zoo is traveling alongside Thunberg. Israel has warned these activists to stay away. As Zoo and the rest of the flotilla get closer, Israel's warnings feel more like threats.
I believe it was 2 nights ago now. Our boat was actually the first one hit. Our boat was hit with some sort of ordnance.
When you say ordnance, what do you mean?
There was explosions happening from these devices, but we didn't see any kind of shrapnel. They looked like, fireballs with a very loud concussive blast. But honestly, the flashbangs used in military basic training are louder than the ones they were using.
Yeah, I've seen some of your colleagues describe these ordinances as part of a psyop, basically, not meant to physically harm you necessarily, but to scare you.
Definitely a psyop. Not to say it didn't do any damage and it can't hurt you. One boat is out of commission now, and another one, the sail was damaged. They're just trying to steer us away.
Zoo knows how operations like this can work. She served in the U.S. Army in Afghanistan. So it didn't surprise her when these provocations got weirder. One night, the boat's comms got jammed and started blaring ABBA. The whole flotilla assumes this was some kind of reference to Greta Thunberg. The next day, the playlist changed, and Bob Marley blasted as military aircraft flew overhead. I read that the Italian government suggested that maybe your flotilla could just drop aid that you're carrying in Cyprus, which is an island off the coast of Gaza. Did you all consider that proposal at all?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
The reason that we're having to do this is because Israel has been denying humanitarian aid to civilians. All the food that they need is just across the border, is just across the checkpoint.
Sounds like you're not heading back.
No. What's happening in Gaza is like a travesty because our governments are complicit. There's no way we're turning around now or dropping it off in Cyprus and trusting that they will deliver it when they're the ones who created the problem in the first place.
Today on the show, how a U.S. soldier ended up on this aid boat to Gaza. I'm Mary Harris. You're listening to What Next? Stick around. This episode is brought to you by Built. By now, you have probably heard of Built, where you can earn points on your monthly rent payment. But did you know they make it possible for you to get more outside of your home, too? By paying rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed toward hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. But it doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and earn additional points, get VIP treatments at certain fitness studios, and enjoy exclusive experiences just for Built members every month. Built is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you. Earn points on rent and around your neighborhood, wherever you call home, by going to joinbuilt.com/whatnext. That's joinbilt.com/whatnext. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. joinbilt.com/whatnext. This episode is brought to you by Saks Fifth Avenue. With the weather getting cooler, if you're like me, you're looking around for a couple of new items for your wardrobe, like a new sweater, some cute new kicks. And Saks Fifth Avenue makes it easy to get creative with your personal style and find the best arrivals for fall. I went over to Saks.com to check out what they've got on tap, and I gotta say, what I love about clicking around their website is that every piece looks special, one of a kind, as if you'd walk into the office or a party and instantly grab everyone's attention. All the big brands are there, stuff like Alice and Olivia, the young and trendy stuff. I love that I can see the care in every piece Saks has chosen for their fall collections. Each dress or pant or shoe feels a little bit elevated. So if you want shopping to be fun and easy, head over to Saks Fifth Avenue for inspiring ways to elevate your personal style every day. I wonder if we can take a little time and just explain how you got where you are today. Tell me first about being a veteran. Why'd you join the Army?
I joined when I was 19 years old. I was working in a chocolate factory in Pennsylvania. I was in an abusive relationship and I really didn't see any way out of it. I lived in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is a very poor town, even though everyone loves it because of the office. There's no industry there, really. So I joined for a way out, and they offered me $25,000 to join if I left in 2 weeks. This was in 2007.
That must have felt like such a, I don't know if it felt like a relief to get $25,000 and like a ticket out of town, but it sounds like it could have felt like that.
$25,000 to me sounded like I was going to be rich. I never really had money. And then my father was a firefighter in 9/11. So we moved to Pennsylvania because of his PTSD from serving in 9/11. So though I had I didn't believe in Vietnam. I knew Vietnam was wrong. I knew that. And I knew that as a teenager, I knew it was the wrong thing to do. But Afghanistan, I was like, that kind of, that makes sense. Look what they did to us.
So you were eventually sent to Afghanistan, right?
Yes, I joined at 19 and I got sent to Afghanistan the month after I turned 21.
What did you find when you got there? Was it what you expected?
Absolutely not.
How so?
I found out that I had more in common with the people that I was supposedly against than the people who had sent me there.
How did you know that?
Because I got put in a female embedment team where we had to walk around and go to the villages and speak with women about if they were being allowed to vote or not and what they wanted. Because up until that point, we really had only been talking to men. So I was sitting with them and drinking tea with them, fully seeing their faces. It was everyone was wearing a burqa usually. So being invited into their sacred all female spaces, breaking bread, having tea, talking, it helped break a lot of my one is Islamophobia that I had gotten from the United States of like women who wear hijab or burqa are oppressed. Like it helped me realize that that was false. It's just a different way of life if it's a choice. And just that they're simple people that just want the same stuff as working class Americans do.
Is there one exchange that stands out to you when you look back where you thought like, oh, this changed my thinking?
I don't know if it's one that like haunts me to this day, where I was sitting with a group of women and we would take our helmets off when we were sitting with them. And I took my sunglasses off and put it in my helmet. And a little girl came up and she put my helmet on and sunglasses on and was laughing. And the interpreter was like, "Oh yeah, they're saying women can't be soldiers." And I was like, "Tell them women can be whatever they want to be. They can be soldiers." And that kind of like I just think about that now of like I'm this foreign invader telling this little girl that she too could go and fight for empire and be in someone's house, telling a little girl that she could be a soldier too. Like it just, yeah, it was something that like I think about quite a lot now.
You feel guilt.
Extreme guilt. I also told people we were there to help and we were going to make sure they were safe. Because I 100% believed it at the time. But those little girls I told that we were going to make it better, we were going to make it safe, they can't speak in public now.
So you mentioned your dad, too, how he was a 9/11 firefighter. And my understanding is that he passed away and that also contributed to kind of shifting your viewpoint on the United States, how it operates. How so?
He passed away while I was deployed. He had a heart attack and he had a heart attack pretty early. And it's actually a phenomenon that a lot of the first responders of 9/11 have been having. Losing my dad while I was deployed and then having to, come back to the States, like I was devastated. And like at his funeral in my still filthy uniform from Afghanistan, realizing like I could have been home with my dad. The last thing we talked about was a fishing trip, and I hadn't been able to squeeze it in because I'd been stationed in Germany. And then I was sent to Afghanistan for what? And then I lose out on my dad, who was also a Vietnam veteran. Like, it's just I think that the politicians in our country don't think about soldiers as real people. They don't care about us. We are like fodder. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why we have so many veterans who kill themselves. Like, they use us and then they throw us away.
Your politics sound complicated. How would you describe them, like from an American perspective?
I would just say that I'm a humanitarian. I believe everyone deserves food, housing, medical care. In our day and age, and with our technology, that a living wage should be able to pay for the basic things that should be a human right. So, like, I don't ascribe to any political party. I don't think that's going to work for our country. I think that we need community in our country, that we need to come together and be there for each other, and that we need to raise the standard of living for the poorest among us instead of, having the richest just get richer and more jets. Like, I don't think I have politics. I don't believe in our political system, but I believe in people.
How did all of your feelings coalesce around what's been happening in Gaza?
I had known about Zionism for quite a while. And then I lost a friend to Zionism where they were posting videos of them celebrating in the streets of New York City when bombs had struck Palestinian children. And when I tried to talk to him about it, because we were good friends, he said, like, we warned them where the bombs would be. They put the children there. And I said, like, it doesn't matter. You're still bombing children. Like, why would you bomb if you know there's children there? And like his hate was so strong that like I understood that whatever was happening there was not something regular. It wasn't normal.
So you sort of see a couple of your friends talking about Israel in these ways that really profoundly upsets you because they're talking about the Palestinian people in dehumanizing ways. Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely.
So you see this, you're upset by it. My understanding is that eventually you actually ended up going to the West Bank to kind of see for yourself what was happening.
Yes, it wasn't until many years later, after October 7th, that I got like activated again because I do a lot of stuff in the United States. I do a lot of mutual aid and all that in the States. I focus very much at home. But after October 7th and the obvious genocide that was happening, I wanted to do more. And I joined About Face, Veterans Against the War. And joining them, I met someone who had just returned from the West Bank doing protective presence. And I had them send me the email to get in contact. And I left like a month later for 3 months.
How did that change how you thought of what was happening in Gaza?
Well, so it was in the West Bank, which is in Gaza, but I wasn't prepared for the level of hatred that I saw from Zionists for the evil they do to their own kind. So the settlers that are harassing Palestinians the most are generally teenagers. So it's a very hard thing to deal with, like a 16-year-old who's like telling Palestinians that they should all be dead, or that they're going to kill them, or that they're going to slaughter their animals, or that they're going to burn their house down. It's very hard to deal with that because they are children. They are still children, but the amount of evil coming out of them I'd never seen before. The hatred is, I don't know how, like, they warp children that much.
How did you get connected with the flotilla?
I worked with ISM, the International Solidarity Movement in the West Bank, and I worked with a Palestinian American who was there actually the first, she did the training with me, and then we spent our first few weeks together before she went home, who messaged me about the flotilla just a few weeks ago, and I signed up and left within a week.
If I heard about a flotilla delivering aid to Gaza, very high likelihood of Israeli military targeting me, spending weeks on a boat with people I didn't know beforehand, I'm not sure I would jump to sign up. Like, why did you jump to sign up?
Honestly, I don't think everyone should jump to sign up. It is a very difficult thing. I jumped to sign up because my friend told me there was a veterans boat, and I was given the option when I signed up. It said, would you be on another boat if the veterans boat is full? And I checked no.
Why did you want to be with veterans?
Because we all know the standard operating procedure. We all have like our basic orders. We all can operate under stress.
You have a shared language.
Exactly. And like we speak very directly to each other. Like we don't get as upset about personal things. While everyone here is great and like we all do like lean on each other for emotional support, also when things are rough, we don't have to coddle each other. We know like it has to get done, or like no one whines about like having to clean the bathroom or having night shift. It's like, well, we know that has to get done, and it's something we've done before. So the fact that I knew I would be with other veterans, which I don't like all other veterans, but other veterans who believe that Gaza should not be starved and that the siege was illegal, was good enough for me. And the fact that I hold a special place of privilege with my veteran identity in the United States, and that the headline would be a lot better if I'm injured, of like U.S. veteran is injured, holds more power, which is silly, but it is true in the States, because we are like a play piece that politicians use talking about their veterans. Like we all know that us being here is a privilege that we're using.
We'll be right back after a quick break.
This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today? Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. And that's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you can save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states and situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This episode is brought to you by Built. By now, you have probably heard of Built, where you can earn points on your monthly rent payment. But did you know they make it possible for you to get more outside of your home, too? By paying rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed toward hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. But it doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and earn additional points, get VIP treatments at certain fitness studios, and enjoy exclusive experiences just for Built members every month. Built is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you. Earn points on rent and around your neighborhood, wherever you call home, by going to joinbuilt.com/whatnext. That's joinbilt.com/whatnext. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. joinbilt.com/whatnext.
Imagine fast hydration combined with balanced energy, perfectly flavored with zero artificial sweeteners. Introducing Liquid IV's new Energy Multiplier Sugar-Free. Unlike other energy drinks, you know, the ones that make you feel like you're glitching, it's made with natural caffeine and electrolytes, so you get the boost without the burnout. Liquid IV's new Energy Multiplier Sugar-Free Hydrating Energy. Tap the banner to learn more.
How many days out do you think you are right now from Gaza?
I think 4 to 6, depending on weather.
Does it feel like it's getting more tense as you get closer?
I mean, definitely, yeah. I mean, we were bombed, flashbanged 2 days ago, and last night, it was a psyop thing. We got like backdoor calls from government saying that they're going to kill us and to abandon. That's why they said, like, drop it off at Cyprus, like they're going to kill you.
Hold it. They were calling your cell phones?
They weren't calling our cell phones. They were contacting people. Our certain governments, I believe the German government and maybe Spanish, got information that, we were going to be harmed. But like not through official channels. Like I said, it's a psyop. It's how they operate to like scare you, being like, oh, they don't care if they sink your boats. They don't care if they kill anybody. Yeah, to create terror and fear. It's the same thing they do to people in Gaza. Like they do all these psyops to scare them all the time. It's not just that they dropped, the equivalent of 2 atomic bombs on them in 2024. No, it's that they also have been psychologically torturing these people. Like it's in their playbook. It's a very regular thing for them.
Yeah. On social media, I know the flotilla has asked followers for assistance, calling their representatives. Like, what do you think that assistance needs to be? What specifically do you want people who are not with you to do for you?
I mean, you can call our representatives. That's great. That's like the level 1 most basic thing you could do. I mean, I would start like pressuring your own local government, show up at your city hall, start talking about Palestine, talking about how whatever city you're in, whatever state you're in, guaranteed is complicit, guaranteed has invested in either Israeli technology with your police departments, in bonds with Israel. They're all complicit. Find that out and start saying we want to divest. The least we could do is stop giving them money. The least we could do is stop giving them the ability to have a genocide.
I think some of what you're saying might frighten some of my listeners who worry about growing anti-Semitism and how some of the language you're using reminds them of language used by other people to commit horrible atrocities against Jews. What would you say to someone who's having those feelings right now?
Well, if you've noticed, when I'm referring to people who support Israel, I'm not saying Jewish person. I'm saying Zionist.
I mean, for some Jews, Zionism and Judaism are deeply connected.
For them, but that doesn't mean it's for everyone. They can say that all they want, but they cannot take away the fact that many Jewish people do not agree with it. This isn't about a religion. It's about an ethno-state of apartheid. It's about treating everyone equally. It's not about, oh, Jewish people shouldn't even live in Palestine. Jewish people should live in Palestine. They shouldn't have an ethno-state where they treat other people subhumanly. Everyone should live equally. When Zionists speak, to me, it reminds me of something. It reminds me of things that have happened in the past to Jewish people. When you see Gaza, when you see children starving, the only pictures I've seen of children that skinny were children from concentration camps, which terrified me as a child, and I didn't understand how people let that happen. Anti-Semitism is wrong. You should not judge anyone on their religion. Absolutely not. But you can't conflate that Zionism is Judaism. It is not. It can be for people. They could say this is how I connect with my Judaism. But it's not all Jewish people.
Israel has said it's going to take necessary measures to prevent your entry into a combat zone. I'm wondering how you're preparing for that. Like, another member of the flotilla is Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg. She's been on a flotilla like this one before, and in fact, she was detained. Has she given you advice about what's about to happen?
I haven't spoken with Greta one-on-one like that. We have had like larger discussions about safety and about like the possibility of detainment, where she did speak about her experience.
What did she tell you about?
She just spoke on like they came onto the boat, how they threw food at her and took pictures for like the photo op, how they didn't let her sleep when she was in detention, how they stripped them down to their underwear. Yeah, just all the stuff that like was dehumanizing that happened. And like their experience was actually quite mellow compared to other flotillas because of how social media had been reacting to it, and they couldn't paint them as like these dangerous people when Greta's wearing, a frog hat, and she is just a sweet little girl. They had to go with like the selfie cruise kind of narrative, which meant they had to treat them with basic decency because they couldn't pass them off as as some evil infiltrator.
I think some people might look at what you're doing, these missions that have ended in failure, and think, well, this mission is probably going to end in failure too, in some way. So what's the point? Why do it anyway? What would you say to someone who asks that?
I would ask them what they were doing. I would ask them if they got it right the first time, every single time, that whenever they learned something, that did they do it right the first time? When people play sports, are they automatically just the best? Like this is humans coming together who don't have the backing of any government, who are just humanitarians coming together to try at least to feed people. Half of it isn't if we get there or not. It is also showing Palestinians that they're not alone in this, and that we're at least trying our hardest to get there.
Do you have a vision of what happens over the next few days? Like maybe multiple visions, like a worst case scenario and a best case scenario?
My best case scenario would definitely be we get to the shores of Gaza and we hand off our aid and we establish a humanitarian corridor where then we can have more ships that are like heavily laden with food come in, and we can stop the block of humanitarian aid to Gaza, and that the UN will finally kick out Israel for war crimes, genocide, and that we'll actually be moving towards peace and rebuilding. I mean, worst case scenario is I lose, some of my comrades and we don't get food there. That's, I think absolute worst.
Zoo, I'm really grateful for your time. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Zoo Jernstead is a member of About Face, Veterans Against the War, and a participant on the veterans boat of the Global Samud Flotilla. And that's our show. What Next is produced by Elena Schwartz, Rob Gunther, Anna Phillips, and Madeline Ducharme. Paige Osburn is the senior supervising producer of What Next and What Next TBD. Mia Lobel is the head of audio here at Slate. Ben Richmond is the senior director of podcast operations. And I'm Mary Harris. Go track me down on Blue Sky. I'm at Mary Harris. Thanks for listening. Catch you back here next time.